You know what's cooler than being cool? Now, before you say ice cold, what if I said it's being able to replicate energy the same way that plants do? Now, what if I told you that there is a creature that could do just that? Now, that is ice cold. Hello, my name is Heidi Shoemaker, and today I would like to talk to you about a creature called the sea leaf slug, also known as the sea leaf sheep. I'm going to talk about this slug because I find them very fascinating in all of its glory. Plus, it's a pretty cute creature. Today I'm going to go over what the sea leaf slug is and how it photosynthesizes. Now let's shrink down and check out our new buddy. Now we're going to look at some of the general information about the sea leaf slug, like their appearance and their life cycle. The appearance of the sea leaf slug is described by the author Rain Dane Calabar in The Sheep That Can Photosynthesize as having a white head with black beady eyes. The sheep also has white antennae which look like sheep ears. The rest of the body is covered in appendages which closely resemble an aloe vera plant's leaves. During the sea leaf slug's life cycle, it goes through a few different changes. Those changes all start as being laid as an egg where they would hatch and live with a shell as a larvae. Once mature, they lose their shell and live as a sea slug. In the same article that was mentioned earlier, it talks about how the sea leaf slug's life cycle can last from 6 months to a year. Are you feeling hungry? Because this little guy sure is. Now let's chow. To understand why the sea leaf slug can function the way that it does, we have to look at its food and how the food helps it photosynthesize. Which brings us to the real question: what is photosynthesis and why does it happen? The word photosynthesis is used when describing how plants create sugars from carbon dioxide and water. This is how a plant would make its form of food. Now, when looking at how and why the sea leaf slug photosynthesizes, we should look at what they eat. The saying "you are what you eat" is taken quite literally in this case. The sea leaf slug eats a lot of algae. The article titled "The Adorable Sea Leaf Slug Life Form of the Week" by author Christina Ortiz, they mention how the sea leaf slug uses the sugar that is produced by chloroplasts, which means that the sea leaf slug has another energy source that it could live off of aside from algae. Now we have discovered the secrets of the sea leaf slug and its ability to photosynthesize. In conclusion, we have gone over what the sea leaf slug is and how they photosynthesize. I've had the chance to talk to you about a sea slug that photosynthesizes and its general information. Now that we have learned more about a slug that eats so much algae that the slug itself photosynthesizes, would you say that's ice cold?